What up, everybody? It's Ponter here, and today we've got another map review, and this time it's Heligoland. The infamous. I know you guys have been waiting for this one, and yeah, this map is definitely interesting, but it's probably one of the worst ones I've played so far. And, for a lot of reasons, you got these fucking cliffs. That's the first thing you notice. But I think this map is interesting in that it's actually a real place. Like, this island exists. It's like in the North Sea, right, kind of near Hamburg. It's got some interesting history if you look it up. Like the British took it and then they gave it back to the Germans, and then they had to take it again. So it's one of the few that are based on real places. And those are generally are pretty nice. Like I like Space Needle because it looks like literally that part of Seattle, which is cool. The issue with this map, which I'm going to demonstrate here, I'm just playing. This is a bot game, and it would be interesting to play with real players, but I don't think anybody would actually want to play this map. And I'm going to demonstrate the kind of strategy that I saw that's pretty game breaking on it. But in the meantime, let's first start with the talking about the aesthetics of the map, which is obviously the most important thing considering maps. And yeah, it's. The red cliffs is an interesting idea. I just don't know about it. I don't know how they did this, but it doesn't really look like the actual Heligoland. Like, the red is just a little off and the texture is a little off. And, it looks shitty, And it's got some attention to details, like this town is kind of cool. Like, got these, brick alleyways in the back. It's got these oil tanks, which is awesome. I think every map should have them because they explode really well. But yeah, the red cliff I'm not a fan of, and I know what they were trying to go for. I just don't think they pulled it off. And then everything else, it looks pretty. Like, this grass looks kind of shitty. I don't know. Aesthetically, and it looks like a dog dick or something. Like the shape of this. So yeah, I'm not feeling the aesthetics. I think it was a good idea, a noble idea to try to get some red cliff action, but I don't think it looked very good. So yeah, I'm giving it a 2 out of 10 on the aesthetics. Like, just because you can make a map like this doesn't mean you should. I think that's my big takeaway. So yeah, that's the aesthetics. Now onto the gameplay is where it really gets ugly. And see, that's what I'm talking about. I love those things blowing up. The issue is this choke point, NATO spawn is awful. And this is this is what I'm gonna do the whole game. I did this in another bot game as well, but I didn't save that replay. But my god, these spawns are terrible, especially NATO. Look at this. The only way, the NATO spawn is right here. The only way to get out is this windy fucking pathway, or this narrow alleyway. That's it. And it's so compact. There's no depth in it. At least I'll get into the balance. This is kind of a balance issue, but at least the USSR has a little bit of depth, but they also have these narrow choke points. So probably you could abuse it on both sides, but the NATO one is just absolutely brutal, and all you have to do to win is just drop heavy artillery after heavy artillery. Think of a normal map like Hometown or Farmland. Think of how big the spawns are, and even then you still get spawn raped sometimes. If NATO had a good team and pushed tanks up to here, they could spawn rape and trap and drop heavy artillery over and over again, and it would be over at the same time. The other thing is, cliffs are not fun to play on. They fuck up your tanks. They fuck up your air. You can kind of do some sneaky shit, pop-up attacks and stuff, which is kind of cool, but it fucks up the gameplay. It screws up tactical aids, especially this fight over here. Like, this cliff will fuck up your tactical aids so much. If you can even get up here, like you can see here, the choppers kind of go on, so you can kind of do some cool shit, but I don't know. It interrupts tank play. It kind of just ruins everything. And that's not the only issue. The other issue is like the areas you're fighting in, like this town. You think, okay, that's going to be a fun infight, but it's not going to be a fun infight. Like, one fuel air bomb would wipe this out. Like, 1 or 2 gas attacks would kill all the inf in the town. There's no strategic depth again, so you can't really, like, pull back and forth. Like, if you squeeze through this, and look again, like, I'm just dropping arty on their spawn over and over again, and they can't do anything. Like, if you get out of the spawn, then you just get into here, and there's another fucking, like, little area full of choke points. There's no really good lanes to shoot with tanks. I suppose you can set up some heavy tanks over here. I mean, this is another balance issue, but like, you put a heavy tank here and you could probably cover this point pretty well. But yeah, like, I would think that you could put up tanks here and shoot into the actual spawn, which is just fucked. And again, like, well, yeah, we'll save that for the balance conversation. But yeah, again, I'm just dropping heavy artillery, and this is all you'd experience if you're playing from the NATO side. Is just constant spawn rape. Like, the spawn rape ability of this map is off the charts. And like, I don't know if the guy who made this like understood the implications of making tiny ass spawns, but yeah, it's just brutal. There's just no area where you'd actually have fun playing this game, other than, I guess, like bouncing around with air, which is kind of fun, but also just like toxic. So yeah, I'm giving it, and look, the game's already over, so I'm giving it like a 1 out of 10 for gameplay. And then when we get to balance, again, you know, the spawn rape ability is just too much for NATO. It's just unfair. You know, I'm giving it like a 1 out of 10 on balance in that case. And then finally, like, gimmicks, you know, it's not that gimmicky. We've got, you know, some it's an island, so that's an instant gimmick. And I guess the cliffs just being so dominant and being so red, that's a gimmick. So we'll give it like a 6 out of 10. Actually, yeah, 6 out of 10. That'll do. And yeah, so that gives us a final score for this guy. We'll just count it up. You know, 2 for aesthetics, 1 for gameplay, 1 for balance, and 6 for gimmicks. It gives us a total score of about 10. Actually, yeah, just 10 on the dot. And, you know, that's a nice 25% if you want percentages. So that's a failing grade. I think this is like a failure of a map. Like, it's an interesting concept, but the spawns and the tight choke points, like, they don't really create any opportunities for good gameplay. Like, even a little shit like yeah, like this broken terrain kind of ruins any potential for tank fights. So yeah, this is a dog shit map. I wouldn't play it. Even for like lols, I wouldn't like force any other players to play it. I know that it's a beta, like it's still in the works, but like, I mean, it's gonna need a lot of work. Maybe if you made the actual island bigger and like the cliffs less janky looking, but damn, just not a very good one. So yeah, that's my map review. Hopefully this will save you guys playing it. It's definitely just do what I did and like just spawn rape NATO. It's pretty funny, but yeah, other than that, it's just not very fun. So yeah, that's my map review. The first failure of a map, but I'm certain it won't be the last failure. And yeah, I'll just keep these coming out, and hopefully we can get all the maps covered eventually. All right, thanks guys. Later.